Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And I want to welcome our friends from Abiding Hope, and we hope that Pastor Karen Parrish's husband is feeling better, and we wish him lots and lots of health in his recovery, and we'll miss having Pastor with us this evening, but our thoughts are with the two of them, and happy to have all of you with us as we celebrate Shabbat. A couple pieces of orientation. This is our prayer book. It opens the reverse way of an English book, and that's because Hebrew is read from right to left. And so these pages go in that direction as well. Okay? And you'll notice that throughout or on the page, you have, and it's a typical layout, you'll have Hebrew, transliteration, a direct translation of the English, and then on the other side of the page, you'll often find an interpretive translation or some poetry or something that reflects the theme of whatever the prayer is. So if we are in the midst of a Hebrew prayer that you don't know and can't follow or whatever, please feel free to peruse the other side of the page and you'll get sort of the gist of what's going on. If you don't know the words and we're singing, sing anyway. Make them up as you go along, it'll be fine.
Sometimes I do that too.
Jesse doesn't like it when I do that because then I'm always off key. So anyway. Corlin, here you are. Come. Can you help us light our Shabbat candles?
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
And the blessing can be found on page 2.
Every time I'm up here, there's a different lighter.
We are supposed to be a light to the nations.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu
Eloheinu
melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
ner shel Shabbat.
We'll turn together to page 10 as we join in Hine Matov, how beautiful, how wonderful it is for us to be together.
Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
This first part of the service is a way of getting ourselves ready to re-engage with this mystical experience known as Shabbat. In Tzfat, in the north of Israel, there was a custom of the mystics to go out into the field and recreate that moment of this mystic marriage between God and the people of Israel that happens every Shabbat. And so they would greet the Shabbat bride, and they would do so as they sang this particular song on page 20. We'll join in Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha,
kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haveracha, merosh mikerem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Skip to verse 9.
Please rise.
Shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha
Torah,
u'b'tzora,
toch emunei
am segula,
Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. As we welcome our Shabbat bride, please be seated.
Good timing.
On page 22, we join in Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, a psalm, a song for Shabbat, praising God with songs and joyous singing, and a way of joining our voices together, of community, and a way of coming together in this experience of Shabbat, this experience of setting aside the complicated and difficult parts of life and creating this island of time that allows us to take a breath, to rejuvenate, to let the stresses of life slip away as if they disappear, but we know that they don't, but at least for a little while, we keep them at bay.
Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. V'hagid b'boker chasdecha, ve'emunatecha b'leilos, alei yasur v'alei navel, alei higayon lechinar. Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon, uzamer l'shimcha elyon.
Generally, when two people meet each other, what do you say? Hello, right. And in Jewish life, there's a very special greeting. The greeting goes something like this: Shalom Aleichem.
Alechem shalom.
Peace be on you, and on you may there be peace. So find somebody you don't know and say hello. We join together on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeidchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn together to page 26, and there we find the Chatzi Kaddish, a prayer that acts as kind of liturgical punctuation, a prayer that says, this is the end of one section of the service and the beginning of another. And so we rise together.
Yitkadav, Yitkadash me Rabbah.
Amen.
Yamad Yibrachute ve'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon u'vyamechon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'bizman karif. Bimeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah bevorach, ve'olam olam me'amaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, Yitbar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitala. Shemei Kudesha, Barichu, Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'oma, Imeru, Amen.
Our call to worship can be found on page 28. This is a prayer in which we are actually having the service leaders ask for your permission to lead the congregation. So we will say, can we bless God? And you say, yes, let's bless God forever and ever.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. On page 30, you'll find a prayer that thanks God for the miracles, the wonders of creation. And let's read together in the middle of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravim. Page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We join in Ahavat Olam, speaking of God's love for us that is never ending, on page 32.
Ahavat olam made Yisrael Amecha Avta Amcha Avta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta Al Kain Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu Kukumeinu nasiach bechukecha V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu U'bahem negei yomam v'layla Negei yomam v'layla Ve'ahavatcha al tasir Mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael.
We turn together to page 34. And we'll rise for Shema. The words are burned into the consciousness and fabric of Jewish life. They are, listen, Israel, hear, Israel. Adonai is our God, and Adonai is singular and one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad 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 Baruch Shem Kevod
Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
Adonai Echad. Please be seated as we continue with V'ahavta, page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha ובלכתך בדרך, ושכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. Together, the high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages,
time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Our song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, page 40.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh.
Malchut hara'u vanecha bokeh yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu va'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, v'gulo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 43. Let's join together at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen.
Page 45. We are people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. And we join in thanking God for allowing us to come and celebrate Shabbat together with Vishamru, page 44.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat ledorotam berit olam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam Uvayom hashvi Shavat vayinafash Shavat vayinafash Shavat vayinafash V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We turn together to page 47. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We rise together for Amidah, page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open our lips, that our mouths may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'imahot, U'mevig Ula livnei v'neihem, L'man Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah v'hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechakel chaim bechesed. Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atalach hayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Page 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated as we continue on page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Together, may all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Page 59. Let's join together, top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. Page 61. There are many blessings in Jewish tradition. In fact, there are essentially a blessing for every occasion. There are blessings for all variety of foods. There are blessings for happy occasions, blessings for sad occasions. This is a prayer, a blessing in which we ask God for peace, wholeness. And our world is certainly in need of deep and lasting peace in so many different places, especially in the land of Israel. And so as we join in this prayer, we join our energies and our hopes and prayers for a peace that is a sense of wholeness and completeness, a sense of calm, a sense of being able to fully express who we are as people. So let's join together at the top of the page. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Lechol Shalom.
we take a few moments, leaving aside the text of our prayer book and looking inward to the thoughts and the prayers that are in our own hearts and minds. Some moments of silent prayer.
Ratzon imrefi legion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali v'goali.
We turn together to page 253. And we think of all those around the world who are in need of a blessing of healing, that energy of healing that we can ask that God sends to all those who need, especially those in Israel who are struggling and continue to struggle through this terrible war, through people who are affected by conflict all over the world, those in our own community who struggle. And in our congregation, we especially mention Carol Ford, James Chavez, Elizabeth Fogel, Gerald Hoffman, Sherry Gayampa, Wendy Sherman, Irv Willis, Stephanie Willis, Michael Shervetsky, Rabbi Brad Bliefeld, Arlene Sandelstein, and Esther Northman. If anybody who is joining us via live stream would like to add a name, please add the name into our chat. And if you are here in person and would like to add a name, please do so as I look around. We join together in our prayer for healing.
Misheberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit,
So this evening, you have a part in the sermon or message. Okay, you'll see the part as it comes around, Jesse especially. You'll see it. We are often fond of stories, and this one is of a small town in Eastern Europe in which there was once a rabbi, and the rabbi was frustrated. Imagine a rabbi being frustrated. The rabbi was, what? Never. Imagine the frustration because the people weren't getting along. People were arguing, people were not really agreeing with each other, but they weren't not only were they agreeing with each other, they were arguing just to argue. Imagine that. You know, for those of you who are joining us who are not unfamiliar with Jewish discourse, it often is that when two Jews sit down to have a conversation, amongst them are 6 opinions. And so this happens in this community. And this community, there was this great argument going back and forth. And they would argue about this, and they would argue about that, and they would argue, we can't paint the synagogue white, we got to paint it pink, we got to paint, and this went on and on and on. And the rabbi was getting more and more distraught. So he decided that he would seek counsel in the big city. So he gets on a train, and he goes to the big yeshiva, and he goes in, and everybody there is just amazingly engaged, and they are respectful, and they are kind, and they treat each other beautifully, and it's this unbelievable moment. And he can't figure out why. And this, he watches. And eventually, the lead rabbi comes in, bangs on the table. That's sort of the classic moment, right? Bangs on the table, and everybody gets quiet. And they think that they're ready for the words of wisdom, and that the rabbi, from out of town is, we're going to hear these fabulous insights into the text. We're going to hear new ideas. And the rabbi says, I di rum ba di di, I ga diggy di. Your turn. I di rum ba di di, I ga diggy di. And he goes on. And the room is filled with this beautiful sound of people singing this nigun. And nigun is a wordless song, a song that has no words and yet is able to bring people together. The rabbi's astounded. And so he said, I got to bring this back to my community. But he said, maybe I'll stay for a while. So he stays for a couple days. He stays for Shabbat. He stays for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. And he is so excited about being part of this community that he can't tear himself away. Finally, time comes and he has to get back. So he gets back on the train and he goes back to his town and he gets off the train, and immediately there are these 2 people standing there arguing. So he comes up to them and he puts his arms around them and he says, I di rum ba di di, I ga diggy di. And of course they look at him and they say, Rabbi, are you Meshuggah? Rabbi keeps walking. And he sees another group of people arguing with the butcher, and he comes to them and he says, friends, I'm back. And they say, Rabbi, thank God. What do you have to teach us? And he says, I di rum ba di di, I ga diggy di. And it goes on. And every time he meets a different person who's arguing, he just sings this song. And this goes on for days. And the community is scratching their heads and they can't figure out what happened to the rabbi. He used to speak. And wherever he goes, the rabbi hasn't said a word. He has only sung this song. And they finally have a meeting and they say, look, we have to get him some help. We have to send him to, the big city where he can get the right kind of medical care, because clearly there's something wrong. And with tears in his eyes, the rabbi agrees and goes to get on the train. And as he's getting onto the train, he turns around and he sort of looks at the people, and a little boy in the front row starts singing and says, "I-di-rum, ba-di-rum, ba-di-di, I-ga-diggy-diggy-di." And somebody else kind of picks it up. And another person picks it up, and another person picks it up, and suddenly the whole community is singing. The whole community is singing together, and finally the rabbi says, "Now you get it. Now you get it." It is only when we come together, it is only when we join our voices in prayer and praise that we truly become that sense of community, that sense of that people of who we are. When we are able to leave behind our arguments and our differences and find the commonalities, that's when we have a powerful moment together. And those powerful moments enable us to leap over any of the challenges that we might have. And so we join together. I-di-rum, ba-di-rum, ba-di-di, I-ga-diggy-diggy-di, I-di-rum, ba-di-rum, ba-di-di, I-ga-diggy-diggy-di. And so we'll continue with our prayer for the state of Israel, page 259. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu shebashamayim, tzur Yisrael v'goalo, barech et medinat Yisrael, reshit simchat gulatenu. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. As together we say, Amen. We'll continue now with our service on page 282 with Aleinu, and we'll ask everyone to please rise.
For those who aren't usually here, this prayer starts at the bottom of 282, moves to the top of 284, and then to the middle of 287. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, lateit gedula leyotzeh breshit, shelo asanu kegoyeh haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים להשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. And on this Shabbat, we observe Yartzeit, the anniversary of the passing of the following people: Harry Eisenberg, Rosa Nathan, Samuel Presson, David Davis, Seymour Elias, Evelyn Goldstein, Sarah Hassel, Louis Kreinson, Robert Gluck, Lena Levy, Herb Rubenfield, David Siegel, Solomon Stern, Adolf Spitzer, Sylvia Sibley, Cecilia Sobel, Florence Kaufman Stern, Josephine Strauss, Frank Vidmar, Bertha Strauss-Glauberg, and Bertha Auerheim Cohn. If anyone has any other names that you would like to add, if you are joining us via live stream, please add the name into our chat. If you are here in person and would like to add a name, please do so. We turn together to the words of Kaddish, the memorial prayer, the prayer that in fact does not mention death, rather it commands us to praise God and be thankful for the blessing of memories that we share. That's page 294. Please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, בחיי חון וביום חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה וזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite Janice Whitmer's house forward to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. First of all, I want to welcome all of our guests here today. It's wonderful having you here. So a special Shabbat Shalom and welcome to our guests. And everybody. I mean, Shabbat Shalom and welcome to everyone, not just our special guests. And Rabbi and Jesse, always thank you very much. It's a wonderful service. Tomorrow there will be services at 10 a.m., followed by Torah study at 11, which will be on Zoom. And some upcoming announcements. The temple office will be closed on Monday, January 15th, in observance of MLK Day. Tu B'Shvat, there's a lot of things going on. There is a oneg, a special Tu B'Shvat oneg, after the service on Friday, January 19th, and there's no cost to attend, but please register so that we have a head count and we have enough food for everybody. And you can register through the link in our weekly email, or if you feel more comfortable, contact the temple office. And there's a Tu B'Shvat Seder, Gesher. So please invites you to join them for a special Tu B'Shvat Seder on Sunday, January 21st at 11:30 a.m. Again, there's no cost to attend, but please register again for this so they know how many people are coming. And please go and support the Gesher students for doing this. And so there's more information in this in the weekly emails also. And we have a TGIS dinner on Friday, January 26th for our winter TGIS. And the cost is $20 per person. And you can register online for that too, and register by January 22nd, so again, that they have enough people. So please register for that. Again, the link is in the emails, or call the office. And I have other special announcements here. We all, if you were here, you got this flyer that was added to the weekly Shabbat service, and there are some exciting pulpit exchanges coming up, and I'm very excited to announce this. First of all, we are going to welcome Pastor Karen Parsh and the members of the Abiding Hope Lutheran Church, many of who are here today, and they're going to join us for services on Friday, January 26th at 6:15 p.m. So regular time, but it's going to be a very special service. So we hope that you will join Rabbi Murray as we worship with them. Also, following that, on Sunday, January 28th at 9:30, Rabbi Murray will be with them at their church. And that church is the Abiding Hope Lutheran Church, 2402 West Grandview Boulevard, which is Grandview, not too far from Zuck Road, so very close to here. And there's a second pulpit exchange, so join us for another special pulpit exchange. And this one will be on Friday, February 9th, and Sunday, February 11th. And Friday, we're going to welcome Bishop Frank Quinn. Some of you may have already met him from the Christian Ministries of the Apostolic, thank you, Faith Church at 6:15 evening here. And then he comes, if those of you who may know this, from the congregation that purchased our synagogue at 10th and Liberty. So we're looking forward to them joining us here. And then on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, at their location, which most everyone here should be familiar with. There might be some new people who aren't, so most people here should be familiar with that. And by going there, we'll be able to see the wonderful changes that they have made to the building and appreciate our ongoing shared history of this sacred space. Contact the temple office if you have questions about anything, because there was a lot of stuff right there. Oh, sorry. TGAI is, thank goodness, it's Shabbos. Thank God it's Shabbos. And so once we have it about once a month or so, we have a dinner or so, less often than that. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
And certainly for those of you who are joining us here on that Friday, you are welcome to join us for our Shabbat dinner also. I think Pastor has sent out or will send out the link. Is that, yes? She did? Excellent, great. So love to have you join us. Okay, Jesse, we are going to close with a song that was adapted from a Quaker hymn called Sanctuary. Some of you might know it, and there's a bit of a Hebrew part that has been added.
So we'll start with the English, which you might know, and then we'll do the Hebrew. God prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving.
We join together in thanking God for Shabbat and allowing us to all be together with Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Following our service, we have a little oneg, we call it, which means joy, and there are some cookies and some juice. We apologize, there is no coffee or tea, but our maintenance person was out with COVID, and I don't know how to use the thing, so. And I don't know, yeah. And as I say to people, I pray for a living, I don't know how to, So, let's join together.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Again, welcome to all of our Abiding Hope guests. Wonderful to have you with us. We'll see you soon. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.